Part 4 of exposing a Pisces energy trying to destiny swap with me, entirely at my expense, entirely against my consent. I am not and never have been even attempting to destiny swap with any Pisces, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, nor jealous of them, nor particularly seeking attention from them, nor trying to sabotage their attempts to create a family foundation for themselves. As above, so below. Let's see what you need to know. If this one's for you, you'll know. If it's not, just keep scrolling. Maybe the next one will be. So they've been fully, knowingly, intentionally, almost maliciously divination abusing from the very beginning with the explicit goal in mind of attacking me spiritually directly first before any evident consequences in my physical world would manifest, specifically wanting to absolutely unconditionally cause those things to ultimately manifest in the physical. Absolutely unconditional, unrestrained, malicious intent. They've even selectively chosen which readings they'd actually listen to or apply in their efforts attacking me, such that the negative karma they were trying to dump onto me would even hit the mediums they use, carelessly accepting, possibly making those mediums collateral damage. And they've been hiding it by trying to make it seem like I've been doing all that. Somebody sees you starting a family with somebody else. They see you building this foundation with somebody new, and you're feeling safe with this person, okay? You might even be starting a family with this person. So they've been stalking me to try to figure out if or who I might ever really want to be with and ultimately pursue a serious, intimate relationship with, to see if I ever actually try to build a meaningful connection with anyone for that reason, especially. They've been intentionally, utmost maliciously causing confusion around if me wanting and trying to build a meaningful foundation with that person with sexual intimacy as a clear intent would mean I'm trying to literally impregnate them and have children with them. And they've been desperately dependent on others' validation to learn how safe I might truly feel with that person. And they've been hiding it by trying to act like I've been like that to them. This person is sitting in this jealousy. They're sitting in this jealousy. They're talking about you behind your back. They're being envious, and this is fucking petty. So they've been stalking me fundamentally out of extreme jealousy and to be able to run their mouth gossiping and defaming me behind my back. More absolutely unconditional, unrestrained, malicious intent. And the root of their envious attitude and behavior towards me is very petty and immature. Grossly disproportionate and inappropriate as any kind of actually valid reason to be anywhere even close to as hateful towards me as they've been. And they've been hiding it by trying to make me seem like that towards them. They're just attention seeking because your attention's on the love of your life. So they've been more aggressively, intentionally, utmost maliciously engaging in attention-seeking behavior towards me and or others the more they saw I found someone I truly consider the love of my life and have been choosing to pour my time and energy and love and resources into my connection with that person instead of them. They've been half-heartedly pursuing whoever they've ever been claiming to consider the love of their life and weaponizing what they call love so they can try to steal attention and or other resources from others, especially whoever they may ever portray as the love of their life. And they've been hiding it by portraying me as the type to be like that. You gave this person a deadline to meet the requirements or ship out, and they didn't meet the requirements. Time was running out. You couldn't wait any longer. So they've been blatantly lying about ever having actually given me any kind of real deadline for something, and blatantly lying about ever having actually given me any kind of real requirements I'd have to meet by them, and blatantly lying about ever having actually given me any kind of ultimatum about what would happen if I didn't comply or meet their supposed requirements of me in that time. And blatantly lying about me ever having actually not met those supposed requirements. And blatantly lying about them ever actually having some kind of deadline or time limit they could wait for me to achieve those supposed requirements. Or blatantly lying that they ever actually at all informed me of that limit existing for them. And they've probably been doing it to egregiously misrepresent why I might ever give anyone any deadlines, as well as if I had any real ability to keep waiting for whatever I might give deadlines on if I was given good enough reason to wait. All to hide their own egregiously poor time management and or general consideration for giving clear, reasonable deadlines and requirements to meet in time. And I feel like this is a little bit of divine intervention as well. This person was taking risks, going partner to partner and making unsafe decisions, okay? They weren't thinking. So they're the type that regularly engages in quite risky behavior, while heavily relying on at least a little bit of some kind of divination abuse in order to guide it. They're the type to sleep around and probably even sell their body, probably a literal sex worker, or at the very least, really close to it, without thinking much, if at all, of it. They're trying to hide it by making me seem like I'm like that, while they certainly should know I very much am not, never have been, and have absolutely no desire and or intent whatsoever to ever be. And they've been desperately dependent on others' validation for if I seem like I'm ever making any kind of unsafe decisions in life, which they've fully, knowingly, intentionally, utmost maliciously, regularly tried to egregiously misrepresent as much more sexually related than they really were, if even at all. This person that's trying to come in and wreck this family foundation for you is now feeling confused and lost. So they've tended to feel very confused and lost in life in general, entirely through no fault of mine, entirely their own fault. It should have been entirely their own problem. But they intentionally, almost maliciously, regularly have been trying to sabotage and completely destroy any kind of me even having potential to have a truly deep, meaningful, intimate relationship I'd really want and enjoy, because they've egregiously, unfairly expected me to single-handedly give them direction, purpose, and meaning in life, and they've wanted to completely steal any meaningful, intimate relationship with anyone would ever possibly give me. And they've been hiding it by trying to act like that's how I've been treating my connection with them, while they, in reality, have always known it very much is not and never has been. They're feeling invisible, like how they made you. They were running away from this connection. That's what happened. So they've been trying to make me feel invisible because they've been extremely jealous that I've genuinely been more interesting than them and a generally better person than them, and therefore unintentionally probably made them feel invisible in comparison. They've been weaponizing, avoiding, and running away from whatever connection they've ever had with me so they can get some kind of revenge on me or something like that and feel more seen and loved and stuff like that from others, entirely at my expense, entirely against my consent, while in reality knowing their attitude is extremely immature, malicious, unfair, and toxic. And they've been hiding it by trying to make it seem like I've been doing that to them. You guys have maybe been getting spiritual signs, like spiritual contact, like through songs, telepathically. You're having dreams of this person, or they're having dreams of you. So, they've been egregiously abusing spiritual signs they've received to do all these things. And they've had multiple means of receiving what they've interpreted as spiritual signs, perhaps especially including through songs and what they perceive to be telepathy. So they've potentially been straight up full-blown schizo, hearing voices and shit in their head, and thinking they're reading my mind or something like that. While in reality, they very much have not been at all. And they've possibly been using music to somehow attempt to justify their hallucinations and or purport them falsely as objective fact. And they've been intentionally, almost maliciously causing confusion between me having dreams of them and them having dreams of me. They've definitely, egregiously, intentionally, maliciously misrepresented if or when I might see anything as any kind of spiritual sign, with them in reality having absolutely no real knowledge to back it. And they've been hiding this all by trying to act like I've been doing it to them. This was a past trauma connection. Like, they really fucked you up. And now you're just guarded. You're defensive. You have a blocked heart chakra when it comes to this person, or they did at the time. So they've been egregiously exaggerating or even blatantly lying about their past experiences with me to make it seem like I massively traumatized them somehow. And they've probably also been trying to blame even some of their traumas entirely unrelated to me on me somehow. And they've been using all that to try to justify an, in reality, exceedingly inappropriately guarded and defensive attitude towards me. And they've been doing that to try to hide that they've always in reality had their heart closed off to me, even when I didn't deserve it and they knew I didn't deserve it, which they've further reinforced by intentionally, utmost maliciously causing confusion around whether they were the one with their heart closed off to me or if it was the other way around. And that's, they just didn't let you in. They built these walls, but now they want to come in with this union and this reconciliation about coming back together and having this second chance with you. So while they've been intentionally building up walls and distance between us, they've also been trying to leave room for themselves to forcefully impose their presence on me later, as if it's a union I want and or deserve somehow, and as if that's some kind of reconciliation between us and or should be. And they've been trying to meticulously, intentionally, utmost maliciously shape the whole context behind it, so it's as if I'd be somehow being graced by them to get a second chance at being better to them that they're reluctantly giving me. And they've been hiding it by trying to make it seem like I've been the one trying to do that kind of thing or something similar to it to them. This person was closed off, okay? They caused their own anxiety and they refused to give in to what you wanted. This just made you have like this silence within and you just pulled away. So they've caused their own anxiety by being overly closed off towards me and have been weaponizing that against me, literally trying to blame me for their own mental health issues they caused entirely on their own. They've been trying to force me into anxiety-inducing states because they've been trying to egregiously, abusively control my life to get whatever they want out of me at all times. And they've intentionally, utmost maliciously distanced themselves from me when they learned they couldn't. And they've been hiding it by trying to make it seem like I've ever plotted against them like that, while they've in reality known all along I haven't, ever, at all. One of you could be a fire sign, a Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries. So they've been destiny swapping and or otherwise intentionally, utmost maliciously misrepresenting themselves as a Leo, Sagittarius, and or Aries energy, and trying to hide it by making it seem like I've ever been doing such things, while they in reality fully knew all along that I am not and never have been at all. They've really put on a facade, okay? They've really put on a front. They were people pleasing and there was hidden motives here, and they could have even been acting weird at the time, okay? So they've desperately depended on others' validation that I seem like I'm massively faking who I am. They've in reality had extreme people-pleasing tendencies with hidden motives in much of what they do, especially when it at all relates to me. And they've been hiding it by trying to make me seem like I'm that type of person, which they've been further reinforcing by randomly trying to make my behavior look strange to hide their own random strange behaviors, which they've also desperately depended on others' validation to try to gauge the believability of. This person might visit you unexpectedly, okay? Might show up, might be driving by your house already. So they've desperately depended on others' validation to determine if they've successfully, intentionally, utmost maliciously caused confusion around if I'm about to visit them unexpectedly in the very near future. And in a really shady, basically malicious seeming manner as well, as if I'm just going to randomly show up out of nowhere to basically terrorize them or something like that. They've also probably been intentionally, most maliciously, trying to cause confusion between me visiting them, showing up in their lives somehow at all, and driving by their house. Perhaps they've even secretly been hoping all the other things I've exposed them doing here would have already caused me to desperately seek having them back in my life, which, upon them seeing it hasn't, actually in itself becomes some kind of justification they feel in their increasingly mentally ill state to be even more malicious towards me. And they've been hiding it all by projecting it onto me. But just remember, this person played with your heartstrings and they played mind games. They took advantage and they played with your feelings. So don't let them string you along again. So they've tried to play with my heart, play with my mind, egregiously exploit me as much as possible, essentially be so horrible to me that I should never let them back in my life ever again under any circumstances, while I've basically been nothing but good to them. And yet they have the audacity to overall try to flip everything on me and make it seem like I've been the horrible one to them and they should be the one that never lets me back into their life.